Any other questions while I wait? All right. I want to try something really quick. Just I'm interested in seeing who's actually here and who's not. So if you're paying attention, if you're hearing my voice right now, I just want you to give me a check mark in the participants button, just so I can make sure I know who's actually here and who I'm gonna have to do something about. I'm gonna take a picture of this. JC, I see your thumbs up. You're good. I see you. Okay. Thank you guys. That's all. Sometimes it's hard to tell because you guys don't like to turn your cameras on. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. And I am recording this, so if you missed out on something, you can always watch the recording. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to come back to it if we have time at the end because I like it, but it's a little more complicated than it needs to be. All right. So this one, I just want to change this to equation. We're writing an equation, not an inequality. All right. Who would like to read just the top, just before you get to part A, just the top?
Me.
All right, go ahead.
John has a goal to ride his bike at least 100 miles this summer. John has ridden 12 miles thus far. There are 40 days left in the summer.
Good. Who would like to read part A?
Write an equation to represent the average distance d in miles John must ride each day for the rest of the summer to achieve his goal. Enter your equation in the space provided.
All right, cool. So we're just going to start with part A. We're going to ignore part B for now. But basically, we need to know, because, okay, let's start with what do we know, what do we don't know? We know that we know three things.
How many days of summer are they? And that there are 40 days left.
Good. There's 40 days left. He wants, his goal is 100. And he's already done 12, right? What do we not know? This is a little trickier. So reread the question. You can reread part A and see if you can figure it out. What do we not know?
How many days are in summer?
So the total number, there's 40 days. Well, we know there's 40 days left.
We don't know.
How many miles he has done per day?
Good. There you go. So if you read it again, just you can see it here. We need to know how many miles John must ride each day. That's what we don't know. The miles per day. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this information to write my equation. So in order to get to his goal is 100, right? So whatever he does has to equal 100. In order to get to that goal, where are we starting? How much did he already do?
12.
Good. He already did 12. So we start with 12. And he's going to have to do a certain amount each day for 40 days, right? We don't know how many miles per day he's going to need to do, but we know that it's going to take 40 days to get there, right? So my variable is the distance, is the number of miles, right? So D. And however many miles he does in one day, you're going to want to multiply that by 40 to know how many he does in 40 days. So this is where I would get 40D. So I'm going to explain that another way because I know that that could have been a little confusing. So in order to get to 100, he starts with 12 miles. So this is how much he already did. the d is the number of days, or sorry, the distance, my bad. D is the number of miles in one day. And then 40 is how many days are left in summer. So with this equation, I can now solve it to get the value of D, which is exactly what part B is asking me to do. Part B says, determine the average number of miles John must ride each day to reach exactly 100 miles. So for part B, I want you guys to try that out on your own, solve for D, and see what you get. Should be pretty easy. It's a two-step equation. Take about 30 more seconds and send me your answer once you have it. And for this one, I know I usually don't say this, but for this one, you can leave it as a decimal because this is a real world problem and I need to know the actual amount of miles. All right, one more second to finish up. Whenever you have a real world problem, most of the time, like 99% of the time, your answer needs to make sense. So as you're getting your answers, if you get a number that seems wrong, that's probably because it is wrong. So if you got a number that was like 345, that would probably, I don't think anyone's going to be able to bike 345 miles in one day. So let's go ahead and solve it and see what we get, and then we'll determine if it seems like a good answer. So to get d by itself, I need to get rid of that 12. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides, which leaves me with 40d equals 80.
88.
8.
Miss, it's because I put because I forgot that it said 40 and I put 4 instead, so it made it different.
But you understand, right? That wouldn't have made sense. All right, I divide by 40 and I get D equals 2.2 miles, which seems like a reasonable goal, right? 2.2 miles per day. I think you could do it. But if you got something like 10 miles, 15 miles, something like that, that's going to be a little harder because that's not really going to make sense. So you have to make sure that it's making sense. Any questions? All right. Cool. Let's do one more and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Can I have a volunteer read it? Last one.
Anita is filling a small pool for her kids. Currently, there are 60 gallons of water in the pool, and she is filling the pool at a rate of 50 gallons every 5 minutes. The pool holds 200 gallons of water.
Perfect. All right. So we've got 4 equations here, and this one's actually pretty similar to one that we did like yesterday, I think, with the gallons of water being added. So I want you guys to try this one out. I'm not gonna lie, this one plays a trick on you. This one, technically, I would call this a trick question, which is fun, right? So try it on your own, see what you get. We'll go over it. There are like less than 10 minutes left, so I'm not gonna make you guys take forever on this. So just take 2 minutes. You can even guess if you need to guess, but let's see what we get. Thirty seconds remaining. I know this, I don't want to rush you guys, but I also don't want to take forever on this one. So if you don't get an answer, that's okay. Just think of an answer. And I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong yet. I'm going to make you wait for it. Okay. All right. Let's just go through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an equation. I'm going to ignore everything I see over here. I'm not going to look at it yet. I'm going to write an equation just based on what I see. So I know that there's 60 gallons of water in the pool. So that's my starting amount. And that she's filling it at a rate of 50 gallons every 5 minutes. And I know that the pool holds a total of 500. I'm not going to tell you until I finish going over it. Okay, and then I know that that 200 is my total. So I know that to fill the pool, it's going to be the starting amount plus the additional amount. Sorry, okay. The additional amount, and that's going to equal the total.
You see, Miss, I knew it.
Well, you don't know that yet. We'll see. All right, now my starting amount is 60. I got that right from the words. My additional amount is 50 gallons every 5 minutes. This is the tricky part right here, because it's 50 gallons every 5 minutes, but I need to put that as a unit rate. I need to know how many gallons that is in 1 minute. So if it's 50 every 5, that's going to, if you divide that, that's going to be 10. So I'm going to write that as 50 over 5, 10 times the number of minutes. My number of minutes is my variable. And then that is going to equal 200. So now I'm going to simplify that. This becomes 60 plus 10m equals 200. Does that look exactly like any of the answer choices we see? This is where they try to trick you again. So they change a couple things, but which of them matches every single number correctly?
A.
A. Now, when you see that, okay, we see the 10, the 60, and the 20, they match. The 200, they match. But how did they go from what I have right here to what they have in their question?
Because they did it the opposite way. They put the 60 equals instead of like doing it like that.
Exactly.
So changed.
Yeah, you're completely right. They kind of switched things around. So they moved the 10m over to the other side, which means they had to subtract 10m on both sides. And they flipped everything around. So this became 60 equals negative 10m plus 200. That's where they got, that's why it's negative, because they moved it to the other side of the equation of the equal sign. And when they did that, they had to flip it and it became a negative. So that's why this question was on a test from last year that it wasn't my test, but it was like the district test. And almost every single person chose answer choice B instead of answer choice A because they didn't do the 50 over 5. So that was the most important part right there. And that's why this question is super, super tricky. And I wanted to show it to you guys today so that if you get something similar whenever you have to take a test, you kind of remember Ms. Lopez telling you to reread everything super carefully and be very organized. But yeah, any questions on this one? All right. Okay, we're basically done. I just have one reminder. Well, okay, 2 reminders. Number 1 is you have homework. It's due tomorrow at midnight. So if you haven't finished it, make sure you get to work on that. The other thing is, I mentioned this last time, but I'm going to be absent tomorrow. There's not going to be a substitute. You're not going to have Zoom. So during this time of class is from 2:30 to 4. During that time, you should be making sure you finish everything on this list. The first thing you have to do is finish iReady because iReady closes at 3. So make sure you get on iReady as soon as you possibly can and work on iReady. If you're done with iReady, the next thing to do is to take your quiz. I will be posting this on Microsoft Teams in the morning. So you could even do it before class. So I'll post it in the morning and it's going to be due at midnight. Once you've done that, got to make sure you finish your homework. And if you're done with all those 3 things, then you are good to go. Do I have any remaining questions? All right.
Miss, what if mine don't work tomorrow?
If iReady doesn't work, don't worry because I already told Mr. St. Rose. So you're good. Whenever it does work again, you can finish it at that point.
Miss Tech,
Okay.
What's up, Miriam?
the third one?
Khan Academy?
No, it says take your quiz, due at midnight.
Oh, due at midnight, yeah. I'll post it in the morning onto your Microsoft Teams page. So you'll see it on Microsoft Teams.
Okay.
Wait, is this complete your Khan Academy assignment? Is it the one we are supposed to do, or are you gonna post a new one?
The one I already posted. I'm not putting anything new.
All right.
Good questions. All right. So with that, we are done. I won't see you tomorrow. So have a lovely, lovely weekend. Rest up, and I'll see you guys again on Monday, okay?
All right, see you Monday.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
miss.
Bye.
But first,
Bye.
Bye, miss.
Bye.